What's up, Irish Nation? Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, your home of the Ursuline Irish. Week 9 here at the Golden Dawn. Another nice crowd tonight. Johnny Naples again and his staff. They do a great job representing Ursuline football. Cannot thank them enough. Joined by the head voice of the Irish, Anthony Romo. Anthony, proud to be joined by you. And the head ball coach of the Irish, Dan Reardon. Coach, thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, good to be here.
Was with Richie last week. Got to call the game. Biggest play of the game to me is Coach Reardon calling timeout on the half-yard line, getting the timeout, and making a huge stop. I guess I want to go to the stop. Very big quarterback, number one.
Yeah,
that's a
good football
talented.
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask you first. That's a really good football team that I think can be a little out of sync.
A talented team. It was like a Murphy's Law game. I feel like they, if you would have told me it was going to be a 40-0
Yeah, if I just last week,
I don't think I would have believed you. But they turned the ball over.
Sure,
three
struggled
times
with the run game, the handoffs,
but again, it goes back. We got that fourth down stop, and 2 plays later, go 99 yards, huge play, and 14-point turn of events like that, and then we got a couple more stops. They put the ball on the ground, and it just spiraled out of control really, really quickly. And they're a better football team than what they showed.
Sure.
And I think our guys know that. That was not a typical game.
No, absolutely. But a game that I think you played very well. I'll go to the defense, Anthony, before I thought the defense was outstanding against an athletic team that get to the perimeter. I thought Tyreek had a great game from the defensive end spot. The linebackers, I thought, again, Frangos and Rohrbaugh did a fantastic job. But I thought the defensive line set the tone. I thought that I saw a lot of penetration from those four to free up guys to make plays. The back end was solid. This is a defense that continues to get better against great competition every week.
Yeah, I think so. And, we've been saying it all year on both sides of the ball. It starts up front.
Yeah.
And that's the strength of our team. We have good skill players. We don't have as much depth as maybe we normally have had over some of the years at Ursuline at the skill positions. But, we have more depth up front. We have guys, 6 guys who we rotated on the D line and feel good about. We have 7 guys in the offensive line that we feel good about that can go in and play varsity football and play at a high level. So that's deeper than most years. I mean, trust me, there's been teams I've been around that we don't have 3 guys that can play.
Man, who do I have to go to here? This is against the people we play every week.
Yeah. So, that's a luxury, but Casey Lugers, Mike Branch, Isaac Lucas, Tyreek, you mentioned, Brian Frasco got in there on the D line. Yeah, and I'm talking D line.
Oh, D line, that's right. Yeah, Brian did some nice.
Yeah, Brian got in there. Jerome Galloway's a guy who gets better and better, and he's improved a ton.
That's a guy that I remember calling the name a lot. He did a nice job.
He did. He played his best game so far this year.
That's good to hear for Irish fans.
When we talk about depth, how big was it for you from a coaching standpoint, or how big is it any game when you guys are able to jump out the way you do and to get reps for as many guys as you did in that second half? How big is that for you moving forward?
I think it's huge. And, we still were able to play a JV game on Saturday, and those young guys, they need reps.
And it's so hard to do. It has to.
It's, as many reps as we can get them, we get them. And we freshmen and JV players, we try to maximize their quarters, with the quarter limit rule. And I mean, my perfect season to me is every kid maxes out his quarters, and because that's what they need. They need reps. And, we do a JV portion of practice every day and probably invest more time in those younger guys than probably 90% of teams out there. They don't just come to practice and play scout team. I mean, we do a JV specific period every single day. And, during those periods, you can see those guys growing up from week to week and getting better and better. But, back to the original thing, getting them in a varsity situation is awesome. And, they're excited. And then our varsity guys are excited that, we kind of challenge them, if we're in a situation where we can, get a big lead, get a running clock, like how soon can we get the young guys in there? And then the older guys are cheering them on and excited for their success too.
With Coach Reardon, Coach's Corner. Week 9, East High School will invade Stambaugh Stadium. We'll have it for you. Anthony Roma, myself on YSN at 7 o'clock. going back to those young guys getting in, I thought they handled themselves very well in that second half. I mean, obviously didn't score, but I saw a lot of positive things from a lot of people, a couple different quarterbacks, running backs, and I loved watching your older kids cheer for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Because most of the big games, they're not getting their opportunity to go in. They're cheering those older guys on. But I cannot give enough credit to this senior group and your starters that were not in the back talking and doing other things. They were up with the coaches, excited to watch kids make plays. That has to be exciting.
Well, that and then all those older guys, they always have healthy suggestions on, give so-and-so the ball or do this, do that.
So you just cover up your headsets and go, you can only give so many people the ball at one time.
I'm doing the best I can. But I'm trying to get them all a touch.
That was awesome for us to see and have the roster and call those names. Yeah. Like you said, those kids are at practice every day, spend time every day. And the hardest thing that people don't understand is then come home late Friday night and go play a JV game early Saturday morning. That's not easy to do.
So I'll tell you what, we're playing up in Berea.
Right. So you get home at,
we get home and it's late. And so we got home and the Golden Dawn was closed. That's how late it was.
Wait a second. We're going to have to take care of that.
I already did. Did. So. Okay. So
that tells you what time it was.
Yeah. So at any rate, by the time we get home, we get, everybody out of the locker room and rides get picked up and all those things. It's late. And then JV guys got to be back at 8 the next morning to get ready to go. And varsity guys come in at 9 and, so on and so forth. So it is a quick turnaround. A lot of people don't think about that. And then how we do it, all of our freshmen, we dress them for all 3 levels. And so in a normal week, they're dressing Thursday, they're dressing Friday, they're dressing Saturday morning. And it's awesome because if you love football,
that's one of the things that I love about Ursuline High School. They get the opportunity to be a part of that from the time they get.
Yeah, and I think it's big. I think it's big for, again, going back to player development. I mean, the thing that I think our staff does a great job of over the course of 4 years, I think we do as good a job as anybody out there is developing players. And, I think we have a great system in place to do that. Again, we made reference to what we do in practice with the younger guys and, getting a freshman in a varsity game, even if it's only for 2 plays, I mean, it's awesome.
Just make somebody's.
Yeah. So, they feed off that. The older guys feed off that.
That's
awesome. The opportunity to do it. So, yeah.
So
Youngstown East, talk about them a little bit.
Looking forward to this week's matchup. Of course, East has obviously not had the season that they've wanted to have, but every time you go into a matchup against a conference opponent, there's a little bit more urgency because those are the games that obviously you can't say they matter more than others on the schedule, but it's a Youngstown school. I'm sure a lot of guys both ways know each other and they're going to come ready to play. Yeah,
for sure. And, so our guys have played against these guys for
forever,
their entire career, and, conference opponent, Youngstown City opponent. We talk about the city championship, which is also the Steel Valley championship. And, it's important and you can't take any of those things for granted. And, certainly the season hasn't gone how they've wanted it to go, but, we always talk to our kids when we are having success,
you're going to get somebody's best shot.
You're going to get their best shot and they're going to play you 7, 14, 21 points better than they showed on film last week or the week before. And that's just the reality of it. If someone's playing Alabama's getting their best shot. They're not going to lay down because they're playing Alabama. They know they better show up and they're going to give them everything they have. So, that's kind of the, we can't take anything for granted and don't look at the record and just healthy respect for the opponent and, play how you're capable of playing. I mean, that's kind of been the message all week.
And then I'll say, so week 9 this year, and we were talking about this with Coach
have a good stat for us.
Lynch a little bit.
You're like one of those gurus with the.
Well, my favorite stat from last week was DC. I mean, what do you have? 13 carries, 200-something rushing yards.
Yeah, I think
so. I saw that's a record. Isn't it the 99-yarder? I thought I saw somewhere as a record.
School record, tied the state record.
I mean, how could you make that any better? Like,
the previous. The previous Ursuline record was 92 yards. So broke that by 7 yards. And and record that's never going to be broken. It can be tied, but it's never going to be broken.
I guess.
And I'll say this, just a little side story. So DC goes in, and we get the stop. And I said, you know what, we're going to take a shot. Maybe we catch a DB sleeping. And I told DC in the huddle, I said, you ready to set the longest pass play in school history? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. I said, all right. So we took a shot on first down. It was incomplete.
Then he gets
second down. He's like, all right.
With a pretty good hole, too, we might
I'm
say.
just going to run it.
With the left side there that caved the way, too.
Yeah.
So I'll say, staying on DC, of course, he played quarterback last year in his freshman season. But you got to give him a lot of props. He's played wide receiver and pretty much his defense this entire year. And to step into that position week 8, you had to be pleased with what you saw, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And
we hope Jack is improving.
Yeah,
of course. We hope he's getting better.
And so the thing with DC, he obviously has a lot of flexibility, I guess, and utility, and you know, he's probably our best corner. He's probably our best receiver, and he's very talented at quarterback. And you know, he has great elusiveness as a kick returner and punt returner, and so he's a really good football player. And you know, we want to utilize him in a bunch of different roles, and that's made us a better team. And then also, Jack is very capable at a bunch of other things that maybe DC aren't DC's strength. And you know, so I think those guys have handled it really well this entire year. And to be honest with you, earlier in the season, we intended probably to play DC a little more at quarterback, and just the flow of some of the games, how it worked out. You know, if we got in a passing situation, we don't want to take him out of the receiver because he's so dangerous there. And you know, so it's a good problem to have. You know, and again, going back to what I said earlier, I mean, I've been on teams where we didn't have one good quarterback, let alone two,
that do different things.
Yeah. So yeah, and those guys are really good teammates also.
Well, that's awesome,
and that's what people don't see. I mean, there's you know, you hear people talk, oh, it's quarterback controversy. There really is not. There's not a quarterback controversy. Those two guys,
we talked off, they both do things really well.
Yeah. So
and that's a
a
team that wants a state championship.
Yeah.
You need both of them.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no doubt. With Coach Reardon, Coach, thanks for joining us again. Friday night, we will have the game on YSN Live against East Irish Nation. They need you. Coach, you said it. They're going to come and give Ursuline all they want and be ready to play a good football game. We'll get together with Coach Reardon next Tuesday night. Pretty big game in town next Tuesday night. Next week. We'll leave that at that. But best of luck to you, the kids, the staff, and we appreciate you.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All righty.
We'll see.